All right, traders, this is Blake Morrow, and you're listening to the daily Roundup webinar. Thanks for your patience. Sorry, I was just a minute late. We were just wrapping up a meeting really quick. It's been a very slow market, and not a lot's happening. If you look at the euro's been in a really tight trading range. As I talked to you guys earlier today regarding the euro, I was really looking for a dip down towards the 110.65 level. We haven't gotten there yet. We went as low as 76 and looked like we might get a little false breakdown. Wasn't enough to really get me super excited about the euro, but we are in this pretty key support zone. So what I do feel that over the course of the next 12, 24 hours or so, maybe 12 hours, especially as we head into like the European Open, in the next 12 plus hours, maybe a dip towards that 111.60 level might offer some opportunities to be on the long side. You can look at this, bottom of the support zone here, also trend line support that may come into play. I know everybody's looking at this. Let me draw it out for you guys. Everybody's looking at this possible head and shoulder pattern, right? But let me just stop and say everybody's looking. You know what I mean? When everybody's looking at this head and shoulder pattern, I don't know if it's going to be that that viable. Again, I think this neckline is going to be pretty important. So 110.60, 110, 110.65. I think that might be the level where you're looking for possible counter trend longs, and you can keep your stops relatively tight. I don't think you have to be too crazy here. Now, looking at the cable hasn't done much. Matter of fact, the pound is right where we were at when I left you a couple hours ago. We're trading at that 130 level. A lot of support down here. Again, I think dips to 129.70 are offering opportunities to be on the long side, more of a counter trend type of trade. I am a little worried about the cable just because of the false break that we saw on the upside on Friday. The Aussie as well is trading pretty heavy, but we're finding some support. It's interesting with the Aussie, if you think about it, let's just say this low holds. We are still making higher lows. You can see how we're making higher lows right now. And that's important to realize, because as we make higher lows, that means that this, head and shoulder pattern that, people are looking at may not come to fruition, right? This head and shoulder pattern might not come to fruition, especially if we can hold a higher low, and then now we're again trying to build some sort of bullish momentum here. The dollar Canadian. One of the observations I want to make with you guys here today is the dollar Canadian's weak. But what's really interesting, because if you are, if you're like, well, I'm gonna, looking at all the dollar pairs, you got the dollar Canadian that's weak. You got the U.S. dollar Norwegian krona, which is at its highs or near its highs, and so you have the dollar CAD and the U.S. dollar Norwegian krona going opposite directions today, which I find very interesting. So this U.S. dollar Norwegian krona continues to build this flag, if you will. Nothing super exciting yet until we really take out like some of these key support levels. But again, the divergence between the U.S. dollar Canadian and the U.S. dollar Norwegian krona is probably telling you that there's correlations are shot. A, this is probably flow related. B, and C, it's not dollar related per se. Okay. One last currency pair I'm going to look at just really quick. Nothing's really changed here with the dollar yen, but I want to continue to point out that even as stocks continue to grind higher, which you see futures have come off the lows, even though it's not a lot. I mean, we've come off 4 points off the lows. The dollar yen's not going down, or excuse me, it's not going up. It's just kind of holding these levels. Maybe it will continue to go higher, but it is struggling. If I was long the dollar yen, I'd obviously be a little concerned about it. I wouldn't be really concerned until we get back below 109.70. If we get back below 109.70, that's where I think the longs find out that they're quote unquote wrong in that particular instance. Peter says dollar looking to exhaust on this move higher on more pairs, not just the euro. And that's what's encouraging for traders, I would think. Yeah, you know, I think, you know, people are looking at the dollar index thinking, oh man, this is it. It's looking, you know, it's looking great. It's going to reverse course. There's a very social media popular chartist who had been a dollar bear for a long time and made some major calls on some major outlets, even, you know, Real Vision. Now he's calling for, you know, more dollar strength. I've found him to be very contrarian as of late. So, you know, with him being is extremely bullish, and I won't mention names, so don't even ask. But with him being pretty bullish, it's like I'm trying to think. I'm kind of thinking here. He might be the consensus, and we might start to see some dollar weakness again. However, technically, you look at the dollar index, where we are above the 38% retracement. We're above this downtrend line. I think you'd have to take out 97.80 to really get the bulls really engaged at this point, versus right now we're just, you know, we're just kind of sitting sideways. So, you know, that's a quick midday market update. Remember, guys and gals, if you have not joined the ForexAnalytix community, this is the time to do it, because we only have this special pricing twice a year. Second time a year is in September. So if you want to wait all the way until September to get these types of prices, then you can. But we are going to be done with this at the end of this week. So make sure you take advantage of the beginning of the year Forex pricing that we have offered out to you guys. All right, my name is Blake Morrow. You've been listening to the midday market, or the daily roundup, and I'll be catching you guys tomorrow morning on the Face webinar. Let's hope for more volatility, please. We'll talk to you soon. All right, thanks.